Different forms of dictatorship. Let us now look at the different forms of dictatorship, commonly found in the governance of nations. Autocracy. Autocracy is a society ruled by one individual. One person, the autocrat, has unquestioned power, and makes all of the decisions. The people living under an autocratic government have no recourse to effect change, no power of election, no say in their government, and no leverage to encourage a different course of action. An autocratic person can come to power by using dubious means such as buying votes, and corrupting or people to vote for him or her in an election, or by the use of force in a military coup d'état. The ruler rules by terror. The people are detained without trial, at times they are killed for criticizing the government. An autocratic leader, like in most forms of dictatorship, passes decisions single-handedly and faster without consultation. Sometimes are taken and implemented by force by the leader. People's opinion is not taken into consideration. The biggest disadvantage of autocracy, therefore, is that mistakes are likely to be made because decisions are not debated publicly. There is one advantage to an autocracy, in that decisions can be made easily, and put into effect quickly. Without the need to obtain a consensus of multiple politicians or delegates, the force of government moves forward without delay. Oligarchy. As one of the forms of dictatorship, oligarchy is a form of government in which all power is held by members of an elite segment of society. Such elite individuals are members of royalty, the very wealthy, the highly intellectual, and others. Oligarchical rulers come to power as a result of their elite status, being born into a royal family, being born into affluence and fortune, or otherwise claiming high favor. Rulers in oligarchy exercise their authority in their own best interests, not for the interests of the people they govern. Unlike an autocratic ruler, an oligarchical ruler need not be the official ruler of the nation but may rule from behind the scenes. Totalitarian. Totalitarianism comes from the word total. This is a form of dictatorship and a political system in which a single person or a political party controls all the thinking and actions of individuals and does not allow opposition parties to exist or to practice freely. Some different forms of dictatorship. Some of the characteristics of totalitarianism include the following. A totalitarian dictator is sometimes elected by the people, but after that he or she may abolish elections. Examples are Kazibanda, Decroly of Malawi, Adolf Hitler of Germany, and Benito Mussolini of Italy. Under Mussolini and Hitler, families were even told how many children to have. Under totalitarianism, the economy, the media, civil society, and all government and public institutions including religious organizations are controlled by the state. The interests of the state are more important than the interests and freedoms of the individuals. Individual citizens are servants of the government and the state. Totalitarianism can be exercised by an absolute monarchy, a military leader, a political party, or any other dictator. One ideology imposed on the people. Some merits of totalitarianism. Decisions are passed faster by one dictator who is a ruler. This is so because there are no consultations when wanting to make a final decision. There is peace in the country because opposition political parties are not allowed to exist. This makes the ethnic groups in the country united. It brings development because citizens are told to work extra hard. Some demerits of totalitarianism. People living in fear of persecution or even death. Citizens do not do their best due to intimidation and oppression, therefore, the economy collapses and poverty increases. People are forced to belong to the ruling party and follow the ruling party's ideology. Non-members of the party are denied vital essential services. There is no respect for the rule of law. Therefore, people are arbitrarily arrested and detained without trial. There is no separation of powers among the three organs of government. Leaders plunder the economy, however people fear to criticize them due to intimidation. At times such are arrested and later killed. Aristocracy. Aristocracy means government by the best citizens. This is a form of dictatorship where only the wisest and highly educated people are allowed to govern. This type of government can generate into oligarchy. Those in power do not care about the people and strictly bureaucracy is followed. A good example is the colonial British government in India. The demerits of aristocracy. The aristocrats are always harsh and cruel to the lower classes. Human rights are always violated. The majority of populations do not take part in the governance process of the country. Decisions made at the top take long time to reach the grassroots or the lower level of the public service due excessive long hierarchy of procedures. It can lead to civil war because those type of leaders are not elected by the electorates but they are imposed on them. Only the interest of the rich is head. Merit of aristocracy. It ensures administrative efficiency resulting from the professional training, experience, and permanent tenure of office. Theocracy. This is a government formed by religious leaders. The government rules according to the teachings of popular religious belief in the country. There is usually a charismatic supreme religious leader who is highly respected and regarded as the absolute authority on the interpretation of religious doctrines, e.g. prophets. Israel in the Old Testament time was a theocracy. Political leaders such as Moses, Joseph, and David were also religious leaders, prophets. A modern example of theocracy is the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Vatican City. A theocracy is a dictatorship because opposing views or opposing religious interpretations are not tolerated. Dissidents are persecuted, imprisoned, or sent into exile. Military junta. A military junta is a government formed by military officers. Examples of military governments are Zaire under General Mobutu Sese Seko, Uganda under the Field Marshal Idi Amin reign, and Nigeria under General Sani Abacha and under General Olusegun Obasanjo. The following are the characteristics of a military junta. The military seizes power from a civilian government in a coup d'état. The military regime usually suspends the constitution and rules through military decrees. The government uses force to power and to stay in power. Political opposition is not tolerated and opponents are imprisoned, tortured, or killed. There is usually political violence as the only way to remove leaders from office is by force.